And I'm about to tweet this. And welcome everybody to the SideQuest. Not a crazy loud intro, just two dudes talking games the way God intended. God being any deity that you may or may not believe in, and or science, and or the vastness of space. I am Dali Dimovsky. I'm joined by Aaron Scratchy Bones Kelly.
I am God.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever Aaron you believe in. And we are from the website www.sidequesting.com.
Dali, please. HTTPS //
Sorry. Make that effective. And that's it. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Ron Funchess. Ron just retweeted me and said he missed EGM, but said I replied with Nintendo Power. I missed that. He said it's blatant propaganda. Jerk. Anyways, how's it going? Doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Well, no. You know what? No, I'm not doing great. Fuck it. Let's just get into this right away.
Talk to me.
I have a really gnarly jaw infection right now.
Oh, a what? A jaw infection?
Yeah, so here's the story. Back when I was still... I might have been writing for SideQuesting, but it might have been long enough ago that I was writing for Armless Octopus. My wisdom teeth, which had never been a problem before, and so I never had surgery to get rid of them, just one day, all four of them went, and they came in sideways, and it fractured my jaw and a bunch of my teeth. What? And I got this fucking crazy jaw infection. Like, I tried to write it out because I've been told, like, yeah, your wisdom teeth aren't going to be a problem. So I have a high pain tolerance compared to most people. Mm-hmm. So in terms of tooth pain, what somebody else might describe as like an 8 or a 9 is probably like a 4 for me. And this was like a 9. And I was trying to ride it out for about 2 weeks. And I got this crazy jaw infection that ran all the way through my jaw and all the way up the side of my head. And it had started to go like this way and up this side. So I got put on these crazy high-powered antibiotics because they can't operate on you if there's an infection. So I had to ride that out for about 2 weeks. And then I got taken in for emergency surgery. Like, it was bad enough that it was like dental work in Canada is not generally covered by our paid healthcare because it's not like dentistry is not considered part of that. And this was bad enough that I was taken to the hospital for emergency surgery and it was covered. So they took out my wisdom teeth, but by that point it had cracked my jaw and like a bunch of my fucking teeth. And then afterwards that was fine. The anesthetic they put me under, they didn't give me enough. So I was awake for the whole thing. They had to bring a guy in to hold my arm down because I started taking swings at the dentist because I could feel him shattering my teeth to get them out.
Shattering your teeth to get them out.
Yeah, there's still like a piece embedded in my gum over here because they couldn't pull them out because the wisdom teeth and they came in sideways. So they didn't want to cut my gum because they were still dealing with the last bits of infection, I guess. So they were literally like breaking my teeth, my wisdom teeth, and then pulling the pieces out. But anyway, so I get these intermittent flare-ups, and so right now I've got this really gnarly jaw infection, and it fucking hurts. So I'm not doing super great.
Oh,
it hurts. It hurts really bad.
Oh man,
like it's like a 5 for me. So
it's gonna be like a 10 or 11 for normal.
Yeah. Not as bad as the wisdom teeth, so I'm just sort of dealing with it. But I'm on antibiotics and shit. But
it's gonna be real spacey this episode. Yeah,
I actually can't remember if I took this one when I was supposed to.
Shit, that's how bad it is for you.
I'm gonna take another one.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I had my wisdom teeth taken out like, let's see, 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago now. And I remember them giving me the first day injected my gums just to numb the gums.
Sure.
And then they gave me the mask and they did something else. And they told me to count back from 10 to 1. So I'm like 10, 9.
And you're at.
And I was out. And the next thing I was waking up at with just a phenomenal. Apparently, I was only down for like a half hour at most because they just yanked those teeth out and that was it. But I had a phenomenal. That was the best half hour of sleep I think I ever had.
So you know the part after the wisdom teeth surgery where they get you up off the bench or whatever, and then they shove the cotton in your mouth. And then you're so fucking doped up that they make you sit out in a waiting room for like a half hour to an hour until you're, and then they wheel you out in a wheelchair to a car. So they didn't use enough anesthetic on me. So I was half awake for the surgery, and then as they got me up, I was crystal clear again. I just couldn't talk. So they're like, "All right, we're gonna put you on the waiting room," and I'm like, "Waiting room, got it." And I just get up off the bench and walk out, and they're like, "You have to get in the chair. There's liability issues." I'm like, "I'm not getting in the fucking chair. I'm awake."
Oh,
they're like, "You have to sit in here for 20 minutes. Like, you have to. It's liability issues where it's going to be our asses if you get hurt." I'm like, "All right, man, I'm going to sit here because I'm still bleeding, but whatever." And they're like, "All right, after you're ready to go, when your drive gets here, we have to take you out in a wheelchair and load you into a car." And I'm like, "I'm not getting in that fucking wheelchair. Y'all can fuck yourselves." They were not happy with me.
Oh, dude. I had my dad there with me. Yeah, they put the cotton in my mouth, had me sit out there for like a half hour, and then my dad took me home, and I was eating solid foods within like 3 or 4 hours after that.
I had McDonald's that day. My mom got me in the car. They were like, "You can't have solid foods. You're going to get dry socket. You have to be super careful. Only eat liquids. Only eat soft foods." I get in the car with my mom because she was driving me. And she's like, "All right, what do you want to eat? You want some ice cream?" I was like, "I want a fucking double Big Mac, and I want a large fries." And just very carefully, just right in the front teeth, you know, as far away from those sockets, just yum, 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 yum.
Did you have any swelling when you had that done?
Yeah, dude, my cheeks swelled. Well, I mean, there was residual swelling from the infection, so I was already on like this side, already really puffed up. But like, no, I had pretty bad swelling for like a day and a half or something like that.
I had no swelling whatsoever from mine. People couldn't even tell I had my wisdom teeth out.
But I went back to work that night.
Oh my god.
Yep. I worked my quote unquote day job was excuse me. At that point I was working night graveyard shift at a gas station. And I had a deal with everybody who worked on night shift that if they cleaned the bathrooms, I would restock the fridge. Because I hated cleaning the bathrooms and they all hated being cold. And it was like a giant like walk-in fridge that ran the whole length of the store. And it was just awesome. I'd throw my headphones in, listen to some podcast. I can tell you when this was. When I was working at that gas station, do you remember the Joystick podcast episode 0?
Of course I do remember that.
So I cut those audio clips and I did that on a netbook at that job. So whatever year that came out is when I was yeah,
that's right. You weren't writing for SideQuest yet, but we were you and Ryan Gann and I were doing that. Yeah, you were folks, I remember that project because Ryan sort of spearheaded that.
Yep.
And he had asked people, he was collecting the timestamps from folks. And then he would get you the files, and you were kind of hacking the stuff apart and loading the files. Yep. And I was editing all that stuff together.
I had a text list of timestamps that Ryan compiled, and I had a giant list of downloads of the full podcasts.
Oh my god!
Of every podcast Joystick had done, on this fucking little netbook with like 512 megs of RAM and this tiny little screen, and I managed to get Audacity running on it, and I was just cutting those timestamps and just pulling those files and sending them off, and yeah, it was good times.
The old days. Well, this has been the Dental Cast live, talking teeth.
Yeah, so anyway, if anybody's got, $15,000 to fix my teeth, just let me know.
Oh god.
I'm in the area. Yeah, that's how much it costs. That's how much it'll cost to fix my teeth.
Yeah, insurance in the U.S. is a lot better, for at least teeth-wise.
Well, it's crazy because it's like in Canada, healthcare is covered, but because you can get dentures, like you straight up like low quality dentures, getting full implants isn't considered like a core health issue. So it's not covered, and so like implanted teeth are like $3,000 a tooth.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
and go ahead.
Like this whole side where the infection was, there's one giant tooth left back there. It's like a molar, and like it's got to go because it's what's causing the infection. So now I got to get this whole fucking thing worked on. Yeah, it sucks.
One of my wife's relatives, her husband has his teeth are like really short out of the gums, so he's gonna have the whole upper and lower, like at least the front section redone.
Yeah,
like longer and stuff, so he can actually have a smile. And it was like something crazy, like 50 G's, $50,000 just to get some of that done, which is just bonkers to me.
I had to, so the last time I got one of these flare-ups, I had to have a tooth pulled, and it was like, what are these called? Like the eye teeth or whatever? Like not the ones that are directly in the front, but the ones that are before you get to the molars.
Maybe, I don't know, incisors,
canines, incisors, whatever's on the bottom. Anyway, my dentist, who's a new dentist for the area, she took over the practice from a guy that retired. I'm trying to tell her, I'm like, all right, there's two things you got to know if we're doing dental work together. Number one, I'm going to need probably triple the amount of numbing agent that you think you're going to need. And if you want to do tests to back that up, we'll do it. But I'm not letting you pull teeth before we figure this shit out. Mm-hmm. She's like, all right, fair enough. Number two, there's going to be a hell of a lot more tooth than you're expecting. And she's like, I don't know what that means. So they pull the tooth, and sure enough, like, you know, your teeth, there's like that much that stick up out of the gum. In my mouth, there's like that much that's down in the gum, which is apparently a lot. So she pulls that tooth, and she's just like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Did you have another kid in your face?
I'm a giant. I'm 6 foot fucking like 10 or something like that, and every part of me is giant. So I've got giant fucking teeth.
Aaron is the center for the SideQuesting basketball team, for everybody to know. Well, I'm gonna look up all the different tooth related video games out there, and I might have to put the list of the best 10 best games related to teeth. I'm
sure there's a Colgate game out there.
The Colgate game.
I feel like I remember like a Colgate or a Crest game on the Sega Genesis, maybe.
Oh my gosh. Colgate video game. Probably like a dumb Flash game, more than likely. Oh geez. All right. Well,
you want to hear something else, since we're just talking about random shit before we kick into it?
Yeah.
So Giant Bomb.
They
just put out like their 10-year anniversary like highlight reel podcast. Mm-hmm. So I was listening to that, and while I was in the liquor store, and I don't know why, but I remembered that Ben Pack works there now. Like, he's the one who spearheaded that project. He's very tall as well. I think he might be an inch taller than me.
Barely.
It would be interesting to stand next to him, but I had an idea for a show called The Tall Boys, where me and Ben just drink Tall Boys and talk about what it's like being tall boys. I need to call him up. I'll just be like, hey, Ben, we've never officially spoken. We're in some of the same Discords. You want to do a show?
Dude, totally do that. He would love that. Ben wrote, I think, one article for us on SideQuesting. So he's got something.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Is he another one that has affiliation with SideQuesting that went on to bigger and better things?
Yeah, quite literally bigger and better, bigger things with Ben Pack. But yeah, he is. He wrote one article about how kind of classic. I think it was the original Legend of Zelda or something with classic gaming on got him into writing. So
great.
I'll have to look it up. Every once in a while, we get like a bunch of links back to his article. He doesn't follow anybody on SideQuesting, which I think is just absolutely hilarious. But yeah. Oh yeah, here it is. It's we did our JPEG week back in 2011. We gotta do that JPEG week. Speaking of the Joystick podcast,
do any of us who don't write together still talk to each other?
A few. We go after Mike Wayner. So that's all.
Yeah, fuck Mike Wayner.
He wrote this article just kind of introducing himself.
I love you, Mike.
Yeah, we love Mike. So Ben wrote an article introducing himself and how he owes everything he has today to the JPEG. And he actually interned as a Giant Bomb. He was a Giant Bomb intern back in like 2011.
Back when they were in like, I think, their first office, when they were still outside of San Francisco. Sausalito or whatever, I think that's where he was.
I think so, yeah. So he interned there in 2011, and just kind of wrote about how he was a part of the Joystick Podcast Appreciation Group, and thanked Ludwig and Justin and Chris Grant and somehow Ryan Gann, who could be a jerk to everybody. But yeah, so there you go. So Ben Pack wrote his one article for SideQuesting years ago.
That means not only has somebody wrote one article for SideQuesting and then went on to better things and never did anything again. We have more than one person that did that. Didn't Jordan Mallory wrote one article and then got a job at Joystick, I think?
Yeah, I think he had 2 articles. He may have had 2 articles. I got to look back at the like our alumni, because there's folks like let's see, alumni Alex Rubens used to write SideQuesting.
He's prolific as hell right now.
He's totally prolific as hell. Jenna Pitcher wrote for us. She went to IGN. She was at Polygon for a while. Steven Strom, obviously.
Speaking of which, Steven Strom's got some secret new thing happening at the end of the month.
We're not allowed to talk about it, but we will talk about it soon.
I literally don't know what it is. I have no details on it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, he's got a new project he's working on that he will.
Do you know what it is?
I know what it is, but I cannot talk about it. Maybe I'll tell you off camera, and maybe I won't tell you at all. Actually, I will.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should tell me. I'm not good with secrets. You tell me what it is, and like I'm gonna have a few more sips of this whiskey, and like 3 hours down the road on Twitter, I'm gonna be like, Steven, buddy, I heard about your thing, and I'm just gonna say what it. Don't tell me.
Holy cow! I'm going through our masthead on SideQuesting, and I have not updated this in. Man, Eric Smith is still on there. Dylan Martin and Dylan Sabin are both on there. Oh my gosh, Ryan Franklin, John Eustace, just Tom Johnson's still on there. It's just absolutely insane. I've got
on there.
You know who's slacking? I'm slacking. Anyways, yeah, good on Ben Pack for making something of himself.
Yeah. Anyway, get at me, Ben. Let's do a show. I'm gonna tweet him that.
I do want to give a couple quick little shout outs actually, because people have messaged us. Our good friend at Namaslays, NAMASLAYS, wishes she could join us, but she can't today, so she may try the next time. But she's very cool. Check out her. Check out her Twitch. She's got, I think it's twitch.tv/Namaslays. So she's got some good stuff there. Then of course, Ron Funchess. Hi, Ron. How's it going? Shout out to you for watching us. You got to be on the show sometime. And Mike Ducarme over at Berserk Games, Berserk Studio, Berserk Games, creators of Just Shapes and Beats. Hi, Mike. Let's talk video games. What have you been playing? What have I been playing? What have we been playing before we hop into this news? I'll talk a little. Let me jump in first, because I always
go.
I'll go first. So I'm gonna go first this time. I haven't been playing a lot. Haven't. I finished up South Park Fractured But Whole and all the DLC for that. So it's pretty meh. And the DLC is equally meh.
It's very much like the first game.
No, the first game, I found the first game to be really funny and give you a little bit more kind of freedom to do stuff, because it was just more of a turn-based RPG. This was tried to be somewhat of a tactics-based RPG, and it didn't quite work out. So not nearly as funny or entertaining, but whatever. I finished that and hopped into a little bit of Elder Scrolls Skyrim for the Switch, which I finally started up. Sucker, I'm just now really getting into Skyrim.
What race you playing?
I can't remember, because I got to the title and I'm like, I'm gonna start playing this, and then a bunch of games came out. Like so I went and bought Dark Souls. I think I mentioned last week that I got World Lens with you. Play a little bit more of that, but I put a whole heck of a lot of time into Starlink.
Yeah,
which is, it's not a great game. It's not like an amazing game. It's actually the best Star Fox game in a long time, maybe since Star Fox 64.
No, I think that game is maybe a tiny little bit riding on the fact that it's much better than anybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like there's actually a game there.
It's the plot is super hokey. In fact, it's sometimes hard to follow because the way the game's set up, you get your ship and they throw you right into the middle of this combat. They don't even give you a setup for, what's going on. You just kind of start. It's quicker, but these planets are huge and there's tons to do, mining and developing these little outposts and kind of collecting refineries and that kind of stuff, and taking out the Legion, which is the main bad guy in this game. There's like outlaws and other factions. You can scan animals there's usually like 3 races of creatures, of major creatures on each of these planets, and you'll just be kind of flying around, and next thing you know, this big giant walrus-looking thing will kind of step out in front of you, and you'll crash into it. It'll get angry with you and start. I hit one animal, and it started shooting lasers at me out of its mouth, which was kind of bizarre, but whatever, pretty cool. It's even on the Switch, which is far less powerful than the console version, the other console versions. Still looks really good because of the style, that sort of No Man's Sky style, which is really what this thing is very No Man's Sky-ish. It looks good. It handles well. I like the ship designs are really cool. But it's very repetitive because there's a lot of different quests you could do. It's an open world flight sim type of thing. So I think there's like 8 planets or something. And I'm only through like 2 or 3 of the planets. And I'm not really through the planets. You just kind of finish 1 or 2 major quest points, then you get sent to another planet. And then you can go back to some of these planets for other things as you're trying to, discover more stuff. But in the meantime, you can explore the planet, open up the map, find all the little secrets and stuff. And there's tons to do. But yeah, it's mostly like, hey, go find me an energy repeater, or go find me one of the Legion, a cockpit from one of the Legion ships, and bring it back to this refinery over here. So there's a lot of those little types of fetch quests if you want to.
Are you upgrading your ship?
All the time. You're always upgrading your ship.
So what happens if, like, if I'm using the Star Fox ship, right? Yeah. And I've got the toy, and like I take wings off another toy and throw them on there, they'll show up in the game.
Yes. But
let's say I've upgraded the default wings. If I put those back on, does it remember those, or am I back to level 1? It remembers everything. So you take like weapons off, and you can. So there's mods associated to the ship, mods associated to the weapons, and so on. So you can take the weapons off and snap a different weapon on, and you could put a whole different set of mods on there. And you only have a certain you have a standard set of mods that you can kind of keep finding and upgrading these mods. But the minute you put a mod on a weapon, I mean, you can't put it on another weapon. It's actually kind of cool because even if you have like I have a flamethrower type of weapon, and I attach. I think I have 4 slots open on it. On this flamethrower, I think there are like 5 slots total on this one. Every different weapon has a different number of slots for modifications you can put on. So I have like an XP gaining slot or modification I put on, and then another mod that lets me shoot the flamethrower further, and then another mod that lets me reduce the recharge time for this for the weapon. So that's cool. But then you can upgrade those mods. The more mods you get, you can start to combine them and make them even more powerful. So if you get like 3, they have to be the same type of mods. So if you get like 3 of the experience mods, you go from having like 10% extra experience per enemy to like 15% or 20. Same with all the other ones. And then you can keep upgrading them from like basic all the way through rare and legendary level status. So it gives you that. And you can you can level all those up on the very first planet if you really want to, because there are enough resources to mine and upgrade refineries and do enough things where I'm already pretty OP with my Star Fox ship, and I'm only through like 2 planets, and Fox McCloud is only level 8. I know people who are like level 34 and beat the game, but my guy is just massively overpowered already. But does the game scale with you? Like, can you beat it at level like the lowest level? Like, obviously you're going to get experience, but like, could you just mainline it and just be done?
I don't know, because I'm there are sort of if you go after like there's dreadnoughts, like these giant ships that the outlaws utilize, and if you can defeat a dreadnought, you can use it as a waypoint and kind of zoom around the star system, fast travel. But again, you only fast travel if you defeat a dreadnought, and I have not been able to defeat one. They're way too overpowering for me. So I'm assuming that I probably have to get to like a level 10 or 11 before I can start to knock those bad boys out. So Yeah, it's I think the game scales more so from some of the big giant events rather than the kind of the smaller consistent things. Because yeah, like I said, right now, any of the little side quests or fetch quests I do, I have no problem whatsoever zipping through everything. So, but it's like I like the game, and not for anything special that it's doing. Because again, the plot is kind of incoherent, but it's just it lets me veg out and just do stuff. I guess it's very grindy and very repetitive, but I don't have an issue with that. It reminds me a lot of in Red Faction Guerrilla. Did you ever play Red Faction Guerrilla?
Yeah, I love the game.
Yeah, I loved it. It kind of reminds me of that, where it's like these super stupid, simple fetch quests, right? It's like, go knock this building down and get all these resources and come back. Now go knock this building down and you get all the resources and come back. And that was basically follow this guy around the town. That's kind of like what the fetch quests are for this. There's maybe like 5 or 6 different major types of fetch quests and side quests, and you keep redoing them over and over and over again. But that's fine. I mean, you can grind out if you want to, or take on the main quest. So, but yeah, and you don't have to use the toys at all. Like I think Sam said on the last episode, you plug your toys on your controller or however you do it on the PS4 and Xbox One, play it, and then you can just use your regular controller, and it remembers the last modifications you put on there. So
here's my question. I thought about this too late last week. You know how you can take amiibos and just slam them on there and they work in different games? What happens if you slam these ships on there in like Smash Brothers?
They don't, because the ship is it's not an amiibo in the way that you think it is. In the way that I think it is, it's actually, it uses connectors to connect to this base, and the base isn't actually NFC. The base is like you slide the controllers, the Joy-Cons into this, and it clicks and activates like the sensors, and those Joy-Cons send the data to the Switch that way. So it may function differently on the PS4 and Xbox One. I don't remember it functioning differently, but yeah, it's not NFC like I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, this game's coming out on, or is it out already on those?
It's out on those, yeah. So it's out on everything. But yeah, on the Switch version, you're actually sliding the Joy-Cons into it, and it's a really uncomfortable. You would never be able to do it, like, because your mitts are ginormous. My mitts are a decent size, but yours are huge. So put your hand on around the Joy-Con, the doggy Joy-Con controller, and have this big giant.
No, fuck that. Fuck everything about that. I'm out.
So yeah,
I'll get it on PS4. Call up John Starlink and tell him.
There you go.
Tell him we want to check it out on PS4 and see how it compares playing that to playing it with cramped, tiny hands on the Switch.
But yeah, like I like it. Again, I use a Pro controller, so the minute I scan in my ship, I went and started using the controller, the Pro controller, and that was it. So never have to look at that. Never have to hold that other controller again. So I like it. It's simple. Playing that, and then I started NBA 2K Playgrounds 2, which is the sequel to NBA Playgrounds. I think 2K picked up the license for NBA Playgrounds and actually provided support. So I just started getting into that. Just got the code today for that, or yesterday for that. So I'll have more about that next week for anybody that's interested in a little bit more serious NBA Jam style sports game. But we have so many codes coming in, and we've been talking in our Discord. Like I'll shoot a code out there. Anybody want to review this? And it'll be silenced. Like we got offered Dreadnought to review, which no one on staff is really into this big giant slow ship maneuvering tactical game. So it's kind of hard to get.
Well, and the other part is Dreadnought. A few of our staff have played it already.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They were okay with it, but they've already played it, and so it's like, well, I guess if they didn't write anything, or if they covered it elsewhere, because we've got people that write for different places. If like it's been covered elsewhere, they weren't really vibing on it, then nobody's going to say anything. But the fact that they've already played it and said, yeah, it's okay, like nobody else, like it's like, all right, well, I'm probably not going to get anything out of it then.
I played it at E3 in like maybe 2011 or 2012, when I was a long time ago, 2012, and it's been like still in Still coming out. It finally released like out of its early access or beta like last week. I think it's been out on PS4, maybe it's only PC. But yeah, just a slow burn. It's been like if a game takes that long to release, High Star Citizen, and it's been in like early access or beta, then not that there's anything, not that the game is not going to be horrible, but it just never it always feels like a compromise. Like they're, if a project takes that long in that much public access, it never ends up going well. So
and having said that, hey, here's a review. Do you like World of Tanks or the one with boats? Right. Then check out Dreadnought. It's that, but in space.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a World Tanks in space. I mean, there's totally a market for this kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
And it's a huge market, but it wasn't for me. Only because I'm personally more into the fast-paced stuff, and I don't want to review the game. And the game's free, by the way. It's a free-to-play game.
I did my time in EVE Online.
Yeah. There you go.
You know what I mean? So it's not. I'm not the guy who's going to review it.
I am the same way. It was. I don't want to say it was tough to convince, but it was tough to convince people on staff only because we're looking for. I think in general and staff were looking for some faster stuff. So sorry, Dreadnought. I mean, could be a very cool game, just not up to the majority.
Looks really cool. The people who like those types of games might really enjoy it.
I think it does have sort of a really dedicated following because it's been in early access for so long. But then at the same time, I think they just announced like a third of their staff is getting cut or something behind the project.
I mean, that's the video game industry. The games are ready to come out. Better fire everybody.
Yep. That's,
if only there was some sort of video game union.
Exactly. And then I've got something else, but I can't remember. But the main thing was just kind of putzing around in Starlink for the last week, cleaning up some old backlog games and going from there. What about you? What have you been playing?
Well, starting tomorrow, looking ahead to the future, I'm probably going to be streaming Thronebreaker, which is the new not core Witcher game. I don't know what this game is. I looked at screenshots and I looked at video of it. Like the trailer doesn't show what the game is. I think it's a card game. I think it's like a single player Gwent. I think it's like they took like one of those isometric RPGs, like Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale or something like that, and then all of the combat is done via Gwent. Like maybe.
So the best way to explain this, I tried summing it up, but The Witcher is a series of books, that were written and released in Poland in the early 90s. The Witcher games were based on those books and were released in the mid 2000s and onward, and obviously Witcher 3. Gwent was a really popular kind of card game, mini game in Witcher 3. So they spun Gwent off as its own game,
which just came out.
And then they decided Gwent, by the way, has been in beta forever as well. They decided to put in a single player element into Gwent instead of just multiplayer. And so as they worked on a single player, they said, this is cool enough where we could spin this off into its own type of game. So they put a lot of resources behind it when they could have been working on Cyberpunk 2077. And decided to turn it into a full-fledged RPG. So it is a top-down, like isometric overworld RPG where all the there's NPCs, there's leveling up, there's everything you'd expect from a almost Diablo, not Diablo style, but it's kind of an old school isometric RPG with just the battles are all done with cards. So so that became Thronebreaker. So.
And I'm going to be playing this because I have a history of playing the weird fucking side Witcher games.
That's true. What was the other one that like
it was? I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a single player board game type thing. It was all right, but yeah. But no, I'm going to be playing that for review, and I'm planning on streaming it as I play it. because I tend to do that with games that don't have embargoes that I review. I just throw the old capture software on, and then I don't really talk unless people in the chat are asking me questions. But I just play it.
It was just called the Witcher adventure game, basically.
Yeah, it was all right. But yeah, so I'm gonna be checking this one out. And I played Witcher 2. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was all right. I didn't really play Witcher 3. I don't really know a whole lot about Gerald.
Yeah. Yep.
But apparently the main character of, I know his name's Geralt. Apparently, I think the main character and the story that this game follows is the queen of the country that Geralt is from. He's Geralt of Rivia, and this is the queen of Rivia retaking her kingdom, I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, it looks like it's going to be interesting. And other than that, I am about to cross the 1,000 hour mark in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms.
Oh my God, 1,000.
I'm at 981 hours right now, I think.
Idle Champions, is that what?
Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. It's a official D&D product idle game built by, I think it's Codebreaker Entertainment Studios.
Codename Entertainment.
Codename Entertainment Studios, based out of Vancouver.
Okay.
It's a really good game to just have up and like not thinking about it.
I am all about the idle clicker games. I don't know why. Well, Idle Champions looks really good though. It looks like so
it's cool because it's an official D&D product. So you have the main roster of characters like that you play on these maps, and they walk to the side and they attack things and you level them up, and like it's an idle game. And so it features characters from like D&D properties. So like Drizzt is in it, like from the Bob Salvatore books. And then there's a bunch of other characters, but then they're also working with a bunch of like the live stream shows to bring characters in. So from Dice Camera Action, which is a really popular show, there's Strix and there's Diath and there's Evelyn as characters, and now from the C team, Dinar Blitzen has been added. There's the most recent previous champion they added is Farida from the Brimstone Angels trilogy of novels. But yeah, I don't know, it's just cool. Like the developers are super active in the community. They do like a weekly Q&A. The game constantly has events that are going on. Yeah, it's just fun. I just keep playing it. I play it at work. I throw it on. I don't really pay attention to it. I've got it open right now because I don't have to watch it while I'm doing this. It's just there. It's very pretty. It looks nice. But yeah, so I'm almost about to cross the 1,000 hour mark. I don't think I'm maybe 30% through it.
Wow, that's
just because like they give you a selection of missions, right? Missions, and that each mission has an objective. But if you can't put out enough damage, you can't beat the mission. And so that's where the idle loop comes in, where you run a thing as far as you can. It generates what they call favor, and then you end the mission and start over on the favor. Gives you more passive gold gain, and that's how you get stronger in the game. And so that's the loop.
I love that about idle games. I think I mentioned last week I was playing Idle Kingdoms a little bit. I play them a lot on the iPhone because they're just like. They're simple, and you get to a point where you feel like you can't progress any further, and just hit the big reset button, and you'll reset and get to kind of get almost like New Game Plus in a weird way.
Yeah.
Which I really like. Hey, Sam Dixon, how's it going?
Hello, friends. Sorry, I'm late.
That's no problem. It's just
day job kept me a little nighttime job, too.
We're just talking teeth and the clicker games. So.
You're actually just in time because Dali talked about his games. I just talked about all my games. What you been playing, buddy?
Well, I happened to catch a little bit of the episode, so I know Dali already talked about Starlink. Other than that, really, I'm just kind of still working my way through Valkyria Chronicles 4. That game, I don't want to use the term slow, but because you have to like move each character individually, like it just takes time to get through stuff. So like it's kind of like slow moving through that, but I'm still enjoying it. Still think it's a nice classic Valkyria Chronicles game. Other than that, not too much. Still just playing Forza Horizon 4. We're almost back to the start of a season. It just got a huge patch today. I say huge, wasn't that big. That added custom routes. So now you can make your own tracks in the game and set your own paths and set the restrictions of what type of vehicles are in that. Haven't had a chance to check that out yet.
You just triggered the secret phrase for one of my pieces of news, Sam. I'm going to throw it in here. I'm going out of order, and then I'll let you get back. Forza Horizon 4 has the best launch sales in Forza's entire video game history.
Yeah, that's
deserved.
This was a story reported by VentureBeat, or not Jeff Grubb. It was written by Mike Minotti, I believe.
Not Jeff Grubb. Resident not Jeff Grubb writer. Yeah, I mean, it does not surprise me. That game still looks incredible, plays incredible. Some people are having some issues with the matchmaking online. I've now experienced some of those issues too. It can be rather frustrating, waiting like 45 minutes to get into a race. And even when you're in that race, it doesn't guarantee you'll actually get to the driving portion. It might just get stuck in the menus before people back out or crash or whatever. So that's still an issue. Actually, I don't know if that's an issue past this update. I didn't see anything in the patch notes specifically talking about fixing that. So I don't know, but I mean, that Forza Horizon deserves every bit of praise that it's been getting so far, at least in my opinion.
I'm super looking forward to the game, to be honest.
I can't wait for it to come out on PlayStation so I can play it.
I'm actually waiting for the inevitable Black Friday deal.
Yeah. I'm a little worried now, though, that Playground Games gets to have their own real big boy open world game next, and we're going to hand off Horizon to another studio, and I'm worried it's not going to be as good. I mean, Horizon has certainly gotten to the point where it outshines the motorsport side of the franchise. So
they're not going to hand off Horizon, are they?
I would think so, because they've gotten the green light to develop their own open world game next. That's what they were. That's what they announced when they said they purchased them at E3. Was we've enjoyed their work so much on Forza Horizon, and Forza Horizon 4 is going to be the best one. Because of that, we've given them leeway after they're done on this project to work on their own open world. I guess they've actually been working on it for a little bit already, but they're going to move into full production on that. And I don't know if they plan on letting somebody else take care of the series, or if they're going to have two teams moving forward. But they do still have at least 2 chunks of DLC promised. And my guess is if they're handing off the series, somebody, whoever the new developer is, will probably be working on one of those new pieces of DLC. But I'm not 100% sure. And they haven't given any indication of what that type of stuff is going to be. So I guess we'll just have to wait. Last game was great. The Hot Wheels expansion was incredible. So hopefully they do something crazy like that again.
They like I said, started with the Halo, so hopefully they'll get some cool stuff. I'm sure they'll have something interesting. Didn't the last one have the Fast and the Furious vehicle?
Yeah, they actually I think actually before Horizon 3 came out, they made like a weird demo side game, which was like an extended demo for Horizon 3 or maybe it was actually Horizon 2.
That could be.
Yeah, I think it might have been Horizon 2. Yeah, they made a like Fast and the Furious Horizon, which was just like 4 or 5 missions, had a couple characters from the movie do voiceover dialogue. And if I remember right, when you beat that demo, if you bought the game, you could get all those Fast and the Furious cars for free.
It was literally called Forza Horizon 2 Presents Fast and Furious.
Yeah, yep. And I mean, I thought that was nifty. I don't think I've ever owned Horizon 2, but I did play that Fast and the Furious little demo thing.
Cool. Yeah, I own Forza Horizon 2. I like that too. Right, Horizon 3 was fantastic.
Hey, I gotta bring something up here. Friend of the site in the live chat, Samuel Dixon says, "Y'all ever seen that movie Teeth?" And that raises a very interesting question. Sam, what do you think? Do vaginas have teeth?
I mean, some do, as that movie both shows you and the medical diagnosis would suggest. That movie is horrifying if you have no idea what's going on.
That movie's so good.
I was just sitting, like, I saw it my freshman year of college, and we're just hanging out, and my buddy walks in, and he goes, "Y'all ever see the movie Teeth?" And we're like, "No," and he's like, "Oh, we're going to watch the movie Teeth." And he puts on Teeth, and then we had to watch that, and it was horrifying. And then that DVD I found 5 years later in my television, because it was one of those TVs with the DVD players attached to it, and we never took Teeth out of that DVD player. It was the only DVD we ever watched. So I now own that movie.
Yeah, we watched, me and a group of friends, we used to watch, we do like movie marathons, and there was a point where we got into like the like weird horror side of things, and then that sort of did this weird branching thing where we got into like, you know, marathoning like series like Dexter and stuff like that. And then somebody was like, "Yeah, we're gonna watch Teeth." It's like, all right, we get the drinks ready, we get the snacks ready, and then there was like 90 minutes of dead silence.
I love how it seems like everybody who's seen that movie, it always starts off with, "Y'all ever see the movie Teeth?" Nah, we're watching Teeth. Like, it never starts out with somebody just being like, "This Teeth movie sounds okay. We should watch that."
No, it's always somebody who's like way into the movie.
It's on Netflix. I'm still watching that tonight.
Yeah, enjoy.
Good Lord. What else,
buddy.
What else have you been playing there, Sam?
That's about it. I mean, this is the week to like check out video games, right? Like Fortnite just got a huge update. Forza Horizon's getting an update.
Wait, what was that last one?
Fortnite?
Oh, you triggered another secret phrase. Oh, it's another piece of news that I got. Fortnite. Epic Games came out and said the single player game that still exists will not go free to play in 2018.
As somebody who plays that single player game every once in a while, I am not surprised by that news.
I'm gonna be honest. Forgot that there was a single player component of Fortnite.
Yeah, at this point, the single player component is basically to turn out V-Bucks to go buy skins in Battle Royale. That game, I mean, I read that article too. Well, it wasn't an article; they just posted like a blog post on their site. They want to switch around a whole bunch of UI stuff. Performance isn't quite there yet, which, as somebody who plays it on both PC and console, I totally agree with. And there's still some quality of life stuff that I think a normal person that is used to free to play games on mobile needs to be kind of figured out and delivered to those players before that game's ready to be shipped. And some of the stuff they mentioned in that post makes a lot of sense, and I can see why they are waiting. And it also makes sense from just a release standpoint of this year, from like now onwards, is booked. Like every week has a big title release that in its own year could be a game of the year. Yeah. So like the free to play version of Battle Royale or of Fortnite is not going to make a splash this year. So might as well hold it January, beginning of February, while we're all waiting for February 22nd to happen.
I know it's probably, I'm guaranteed this sentiment has been expressed on every video game podcast ever. It's wild that Fortnite was a video game that came out with a mode that became so popular that they had to change the name of Fortnite to Fortnite Save the World.
Well, it was always called Fortnite Save the World. It was Fortnite it was the Battle Royale mode that made them, instead of just launching directly into that game, you had to choose. But I think Fortnite was always going to be the game, and then there were going to be modes. I don't think they ever thought Battle Royale was going to be like the main mode in that game. But whenever you load up that game, it gives you a splash page that says Fortnite, and then underneath it you choose, like, do you want to go to Save the World? Do you want to go to Battle Royale?
But would that have been the name if this Battle Royale mode hadn't been a thing and they had released like that, the single player, the limited multiplayer, like build and survive zombies? If you picked that up in a store, would it have said Fortnite Save the World on the cover, or would it have just been Fortnite?
It probably would have just said Fortnite, because I think they're going to end up using Fortnite as like a distribution platform, kind of, even though they have their own Epic like distribution. Like the way they have it set up makes it seem like these aren't the only two modes that will ever exist. Like there might be at some point like a proper like multiplayer, like 4v4 type system that might come out, which could see another thing, and that could be called something else. Or like there were rumors a while ago that there might be some, and they kind of actually have it with this Fortnitemares mode that they just came out with. There were some rumors that there might be a PvP VE like type of game type mode where it's player versus player, but then there's an environmental AI component against you too. So it seems like, at least to me, that they're sort of creating Fortnite as like, here's this engine, and Fortnite is like, you come to Fortnite for these gameplay experiences, but these gameplay experiences aren't necessarily locked to save the world or battle royal.
So Fortnite by itself, if you remember, it got a retail release last year, and it was just called Fortnite. If you go to buy right now, and it was really short supply, and it was the whole shebang. If you go to buy right now, it's $300.
Just the copy alone.
Just the copy.
Does it come with like something for Battle Royal? No. Do you get like V-Bucks or something like that? Like,
it was just like the single player experience.
Yeah, I think if you buy the game, you do get some form of V-Bucks. It's been so long since I purchased it. And well, now all the bundles that you get now, like if you go buy the Switch Fortnite bundle or the Xbox One, that comes with like a skin and V-Bucks. And you can spend those V-Bucks in Save the World also. But a lot of people just end up playing Save the World because you get like daily missions that'll give you like 50 V-Bucks if you complete them. So a lot of people just end up getting those V-Bucks and Save the World and then dumping them on the skins in Fortnite.
People are logging into Battle Royale and then get their dailies, and it's like, oh fuck, I gotta go play that other thing.
Yeah,
there are skin.
Yeah, there are definite people that play it like specifically that way. Or I mean the majority of people have never even seen Save the World, and it's all just playing the Battle Royale mode.
Yeah. I have a guy, I think I've talked about it on the podcast once or twice, maybe, probably once. I have a regular in my day job at my store who apparently fucking loves Fortnite, and he saw my laptop that I have at work, and just he's been in like 2 or 3 times in the last week, and he's just like, yo, you playing Fortnite yet? And like, so I follow a bunch of like esports players like on Twitter for writing purposes. So one of them is Ninja. So whenever he posts like a clip or something like that, like, if it's short enough, like 17 seconds, I see it. And I saw a clip of I don't know, he was playing Fortnite and somebody else was driving like an ATV, and he was on the back, and the ATV hit a jump pad and did a flip in the air, and he sniped somebody while upside down. I don't know the context. I don't know if that's difficult in that game. It looked really easy, but it's Ninja, so maybe it wasn't. But he's like, yo, you playing Fortnite yet? And I'm like, no, but I saw that video in Ninja, man. He's like, oh, yeah, Ninja's the best. I was like, yeah, I'm holding a conversation about Fortnite. I've never played that game.
Fortnite's fun. It's just a game that, like, a lot of stupid stuff can happen. And it's, it's quick enough that as soon as you die, at least on PC, like, you can be back in a game in under a minute and to go do something dumb again. I think I've mentioned on here before that really, like, I've never played PUBG. I've played some other like battle royale like style games, and I think that the battle pass that like Fortnite introduced kind of into the lexicon of battle royale games like really helps me, at least as a player, like want to play that game more, because it gives you, it gives you things to sort of like lean towards. Especially in shooters, like the best way to get better at shooters is just to experience a bunch of different stuff and learn from situations. So like that battle pass kind of forces you into situations that you wouldn't put yourself in. And I think that's actually like a really good learning tool for shooters. And I think, something like Overwatch could even learn from something like that. Dailies in some shooters are bad where it's like, oh, go out of your way to get like 5 pistol kills or whatever. And it's like, well, you're forcing somebody to use a pistol, and they might not be bad, they might not be good at it. So then it brings the whole team down, and that type of stuff like can tend to bog down those experiences and ruin them for people. But Fortnite, since it's like mostly an independent game, unless you're playing like squads or duos, it sort of allows you to have those experiences and to aim your matches towards that way that other shooters and other experiences really don't have. And I mean, PUBG learned from that battle pass so much that they ripped it off wholesale. And now most battle royale games are shipping. I think even Call of Duty has some sort of like battle pass or some sort of weekly or daily challenges that give people different ways to play that experience.
Well, speaking of a game that whose battle royale won't be coming out this year, is Battlefield 5, Battlefield V.
Oh,
Man,
come on, Battlefield. What are you doing?
So yeah, the EA announced, DICE announced that the battle royale version, whatever they're calling it, is getting pushed to March, I think, 2019.
What company?
EA or DICE.
Oh, you triggered a news article.
Go ahead.
EA's stock is down like a infinity billion%.
It's probably on this news.
This was seriously affected. I don't have it up in a browser right now, but I think they're down like 780 million or something like that.
Oh, my lord!
Like just an absurd amount of money.
The problem with that announcement of a pushback is you're going to have people that were maybe interested in picking up Battlefield at launch that are now just going to ignore Battlefield until you get to that mode, which is a shame. I've always been a Battlefield or a Call of Duty player, but it seems like EA's kind of been going out of their way to make sure that no one is interested in the shooter. And, screw all the drama at the start of it of like, whatever, women and shooters and all types of bullshit that came out when they first released that, like, first kind of like multiplayer trailer. Like, none of that shit matters, but they keep pushing, they pushed the game back, I think twice now. They always said that Battle Royale wouldn't be ready for launch, but the idea that now like March is the earliest that we're going to see that mode, like, really throws a wrench in that.
Considering they made such a big deal about it at E3 and oh god. So yeah, that's I spoke to a buddy of mine today about this today, and people are going to be doing exactly what you said. They might even just kind of be passing over Battlefield until this mode potentially comes out, but by then it'll be right after Anthem will have launched, another big EA property.
Yeah.
So can Battlefield 5's multiplayer mode entice enough people to shift away from the?
Oh, I mean, I'm going to throw this out here. You're all high as shit if you think Anthem's coming out when they say it's coming out.
No, yeah.
I mean, this EA we're talking about. This thing's going to be Anthem. We push like 2020.
Well, and there's also been the rumors that Anthem is going to have its own version of Battle Royale featured in it too. So
of course,
EA's going to have its like two shooters competing against each. EA just sends shooters out to die. It's the Titanfall 2 problem.
Anthem.
It's too late to the market. It's going to get buried amongst everything else. It's arguably the most interesting one, and they're doing a horrible job of showcasing that.
Anthem's like 4-player game, right? It's like Destiny.
Yes, from what we know of it so far.
And they're gonna have a battle royale game.
That was a rumor. I don't think they've ever confirmed it, but there was talks, I guess, around E3 that they were gonna have a battle royale mode in that also.
All right, fuck it, why not? Let's get more of them. I predicted back before E3 that there would be 700 battle royale games by the end of the year.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
I actually just got an email the other day from a company that's making a mages battle royale game where, like, instead of guns and stuff like that, you have spells and stuff, and it looks nuts. Like, that game, I guess, is going into alpha soon. I'm trying to look for the name of it now.
Is it the Magica devs?
I don't think it's the Magica devs. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Could you imagine that shit where they're building spells?
Magica Battle Royale would probably be the peak of Battle Royale for me.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Let me see. Oh, the game is called Spellbreak. Let me see if I can find their Facebook page or something here. Play Spellbreak. Yeah, you're helpful, Facebook.
Well, here's while you're pulling that up, there has been a rumored leak on the final potential Smash Brothers characters that will be appearing in the game in Ultimate or Super Smash Brothers.
This leak is it's like when you've had like a really, really heavy night out and then you pass out and then you go, like, the next day you wake up and you go for that like hungover like piss. But then you just keep getting those drips. You're like, I thought I'm done. Like, that whole analogy is every piece of Smash Brothers news. And we're finally at the drip. We're at the end. We're getting the final drips out.
Yep.
I just want to put that in your head.
So the cover your ears, kids, for the next few seconds.
Spoilers.
Spoiled piece of news. Ready?
Is
Three,
it Tails?
2,
No, it's even
1.
better than that.
Shadow the Hedgehog, Banjo-Kazooie, Isaac from Golden Sun, Ken from Street Fighter, Mach Rider, Gino from Super Mario RPG, and the Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven.
Shadow the Hedgehog, really?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Does he have his gun?
If they make a fucking amiibo, I am all over that.
First of all, it's Shadow the Hedgehog. Get it right. Second, yeah, if they make an amiibo, I'll see you in line. The only reason that I think this is fake is Gino seems like such a wish that, like, I honestly don't think Gino is going to be a real thing.
I mean, yeah, but do you remember when fucking it got leaked that Kid Icarus was being added to Smash Brothers, and everybody was like, why would they do that? They haven't made a game. And
it's not so much that they haven't made a game. It's more that I don't know that Square is interested in digging that up. I mean, they technically allowed it for the SNES Classic, which was crazy talk, that they allowed Legend of the Seven Stars on that thing. So, like, part of me thinks that, like, if they let them do that, like, Gino could be in Final Fantasy. But, like, man, like, Square not doubling down on, like, a Final Fantasy VII character or, like, a Kingdom Hearts character seems weird, and to go with Gino. Like, Gino is, like, just so niche. It seems, like, nuts.
Yeah. Cloud's already in there, though, isn't he?
Cloud's in there, yeah. But, like, why aren't they doubling down with, like, Tifa? Or, you know, they could even do Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Well, I'm not... it's not that they don't.
No one likes Sora.
Banjo-Kazooie is completely believable.
Yeah.
I've, you know, even if this list is wrong, I still think Banjo is probably making it into this game, because I think Nintendo and Microsoft have been playing real nice with each other recently, and this would be a very nice thing to, like...
Well, Nintendo UK yesterday revealed on their website has a Banjo-Kazooie section now that just popped up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Not be surprised. Like, a whole section. So would not be surprised if there is... you know, some type of shenanigans going on there.
Yeah, well, and I mean, they made that commercial together, which is the point that I keep going back to is, like, they are trying to have a better relationship together than Sony is trying to have with anybody. And they also they've made 2, if not 3 now, Minecraft specific DSs. There's the pig one and the creeper one. So, you know, clearly that partnership is well enough that Nintendo thinks it's okay to make hardware based on Microsoft products. So hopefully that means Microsoft is okay with one of, quote unquote, their characters being in a Nintendo legacy game effectively.
Oh, by the way, that Banjo-Kazooie link is the only Nintendo 64 game they have on the Nintendo UK website.
There you go. Confirmed Nintendo 64 classic.
Confirms a classic. Let's see here. What other news we got?
Oh, I got lots of news.
Go ahead.
I got so much news. Hey, let me ask you a question, both of you. When you think of the person who founded Oculus and the Oculus Rift, who do you think of?
Brendan Uribe.
Damn it, you're supposed to say Palmer Luckey.
Palmer Luckey.
Yeah, no, it's not him. It's the guy you said. He left. He's gone. He's leaving Facebook. He's the guy that nobody's ever heard of because apparently he's not a giant right-wing funding, vaguely racist asshole.
Well, that came on the heels of supposedly Facebook had been working on the Rift 2, but they decided against releasing it, and they're just coasting on the Rift for a while.
Yeah, well, the Rift and like the lower end Quest.
Yeah.
As I understand it, he was still there. He was still there at Facebook, and he was pushing. Specifically, he was trying to push like gameplay improvements going into the Rift 2. Like, he really wanted to double down on like making this thing like really fucking good. And then when Facebook was like, nah, dog, he was like, all right, I'm out. With his probably billions of dollars. But yeah, so there's that. Bye. You guys remember the Intellivision?
Yeah.
They're making a new one.
As led by Tommy Tallarico too, right?
Yeah, it's fucking wild. Polygon is where I saw the story. I'm sure it's been covered elsewhere, but
Questing.com actually has it as well.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't gonna toot our own horn. That seems gauche. That's like a rock band wearing their own shirt on their on stage. But they're making a new platform. Every game on the platform is supposed to be 2D. Every game is supposed to cost less than $8, with no DLC or in-app purchases. And it's called the Amico, and it's coming in 2020. Apparently.
And it's $150 to $180 for a 2D Love system.
Yeah. That thing has 2 cell phones as its controllers. Like 2 iPod Touches as its controllers.
Yeah, it does.
And they want that thing to be $180.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'll see you in 2020.
Here, from the Polygon article, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but here's the full list of games that are expected to be available at launch. Tell me if any of you have played any of these. We've got Astro Smash, Shark, Baseball, Night Stalker. Night Stalker is actually pretty good. Skiing, Math Fun, Snafu, Utopia, Frog Bog, Boxing, Bowling, Triple Action, Tron Deadly Discs, Cloudy Mountain, Crown of Kings, Star Strike, Horse Racing, Auto Racing, B-17 Bomber. From Atari, we've got Pong, Asteroid, Centipede, Tempest, Adventure, Missile Command, Yar's Revenge, Breakout, Lunar Lander, Night Driver, Skydiver, and Warlords, all of which I'm a fan of, especially Warlords. I fucking love Warlords. From Magic, or iMagic, I never knew how it was pronounced. They've got Microsurgeon, Atlantis, Demon Attack, and Dracula. And then also they've got Miner, 2049er, Super Burger Time, Bad Dudes, Caveman Ninja, Moon Patrol, R-Type, 10-Yard Fight, Load Runner, Splunker, Kung Fu Master, Moto Race USA, Tropical Angel, Archon, and Toe Jam and Earl.
And all of those are supposed to be like remastered versions of those games, right? Like enhanced.
Yep. So they don't know if it's going to be all of them. The way they phrase it is the launch lineup includes a number of reimagined titles, including a bunch of them. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm actually kind of into it.
If you a bunch of these games are going to appear on other consoles. Toe Jam and Earl, we already know the new Toe Jam and Earl game is coming out on every console, like before the end of this year as well, I think. Yeah, I'm very I'm only remotely interested to see what this turns into. Remember, the Atari is coming out. Is it next year? The new Atari?
Yeah.
Which is the same type of thing, same type of system. And the Intellivision. It's just this nostalgia kick that everyone's on right now. But
it is. But I really love Warlords, you guys. Warlords is like one of my favorite video games of all time. Even the shitty Xbox 360 Live, what was that service called? The arcade, Xbox Live Arcade?
Yeah, Xbox Live
I used to write for a website that covered this shit. I think I reviewed this game. It was awful, and I used to make all my friends play it because it was Warlords. Yeah. Fuck, what else is there? Let's go for the easy one first. Hellgate London is back. Hellgate London is apparently being released on Steam, or has been released on Steam as a single player thing, where it's been retooled to make it easier to be a single player thing, because it never really took off as a online multiplayer Destiny-like shooter. I always thought the world of Hellgate London, like the weird like story blurbs and like the lore was kind of cool, but I never played that game, so I might play it now. What else we got? Matt Piscala from MPD has a tweet out there saying that according to MPD, Dragon Quest XI was the biggest launch month in the Dragon Quest franchise history, doing double the amount in the first month that Dragon Quest IX did.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, that's good because they had said if Dragon Quest XI didn't do well, they weren't going to do any more over here.
And this is after Dragon Quest VIII came out, which was a massive game in the U.S.
Yeah.
At least back then it was. So that's good to hear. It's good to hear.
And then the last thing I got.
Then I got one.
I don't think we talked about this last week. Kotaku did an article highlighting the fact that somebody figured out that Twitch might be inflating streamer views. So Twitch is owned or partnered with or something like that by Curse, which was like this, you know, Discord before Discord kind of thing. And Curse was like a service, and you can launch your games through it, and it had its own friends list, and they turned into this other thing. But anyway, they also own Gamepedia, which is like a wiki type thing, and Kotaku figured out that streamer streams were being embedded and auto-playing with sound muted at the very bottom of wiki pages. And they did a little digging. They talked to some streamers whose streams they found, and according to the streamers, their viewer counts were like significantly those people, like people looking up articles and stuff like that. The story was actually brought to my attention by the one and only Jeff Grubb. He retweeted the Kotaku article, which is how I saw it.
Good man, Jeff Grubb.
Just throwing that out there. But the reason I included this, aside from the very easy Jeff Grubb weekly mention, is because this is coming on the heels of the Facebook thing, where Facebook apparently knowingly, fraudulently inflated their video numbers, which cost a lot of writers their jobs across the entire industry and other industries. Facebook made it out to be like video was the new thing, and they had all these stats that backed that up, and then it turns out that they were just straight up lying about that. Video's not nearly as big an engagement metric as everybody believed it was. So everything's kind of in shambles right now. And then that came out and blew up, and now this came out where Twitch is inflating its numbers, and Twitch came out and said some bullshit about how no, this is different because it's, you know, people are looking for that information, and so the streams are on there, and so it's, you know, people might want to see the streamers playing the games, but that shit's at the very bottom and it's like on mute. So how many people, you know what I mean? Like how many people are going to scroll down past all the information to see what's going on down there in a little video window?
Not me.
Yeah, but that article's on Kotaku. It was written by Cecilia. Holy shit, I can't pronounce that last name. Anyway, it's a really good article. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that last name. I should have looked at your name and tried to figure it out before. It's a really in-depth article, and it's really good. And it highlights just another problem in our industry.
There are many.
Which, and you know, like I stream games. I get like 2 viewers. Like I'm not a popular streamer. I basically do it for fun, but you know, I like a little posterity because my memory is shit. So if I need to look something up, I like that there's an archive there. But I get like 2 or 3 viewers, but they're active viewers. They're people I usually know. And I don't know, I would probably rather have that than, you know, 250 viewers who I've only got because they're happening to be reading an article and don't know they're watching me.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right.
But yeah, so that's a thing.
One last little bit of news. Microsoft has announced that it plans to expand Game Pass to PC. So they're during their earnings call today, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella talked about gaming and how, I'm reading this straight from Game Informer, talked about gaming and how it has improved over at Microsoft sales-wise. The landscape's improved over there. Obviously, they talked a lot about all those different studios that they picked up that they revealed at E3. Well, Game Pass, which is kind of like their Netflix-style streaming service, it's not really Netflix-style streaming, right? It's more of a download, but you get all
with Game Pass. I think if you have Game Pass, any game that's on Game Pass, you download and install.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can use PC and Xbox for Game Pass also. So if it happens to be available on PC, you can also have it there.
But now they're expanding it fully to the PC, so you won't even need to have your Xbox console. If you have Game Pass, you'll be able to get games on there. So yeah, we don't know what it would look like, what the actual expansion would look like, when it would launch, probably 2019. But there you go. So it's you get Games Pass fully on the PC, and going from there. So yeah, good stuff. Lots of games, lots of gaming news, lots of good conversation today, gentlemen. And
so does that mean I'll be able to play Forza on the PC?
You can You can currently be a member of Game Pass and play Forza Horizon 4 on your PC. Any of the Play Anywhere program or any of the Play Anywhere titles work with Game Pass on PC already.
Now, what if
this
I can't
expansion
run
is just
it?
other stuff.
Yeah, so this will be for games that aren't part of that Play Anywhere initiative, I believe.
What do you mean if you can't run it? It's not like you just stop paying for Game Pass. There's a 14-day trial you can download. I
have a very, very old processor.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's not like, hey, I download the game and it won't work. They're not going to be like, hey, well, here's your money back.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really smart of Microsoft, especially the fact that like they're in second place this generation. So expanding that hard into the realm that we don't really count in the console wars, but which has the biggest install base, like that just makes sense.
Yep, totally agree. It's gonna be big for them. I think I'm done. I don't know how you guys are. How your teeth have they held up?
I'm deep in the whiskey. I can't feel anything.
That's good. Was that Fireball?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. Well, with that, I'm gonna go drink some whiskey right now on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Next week is Halloween, so on the next episode, next Wednesday when we record, Tuesday or Wednesday, we're gonna be in costume.
Yeah.
So we'll be. That would be a great idea. Actually, we should just be like dressed in sort of some type of costume. Sam, you could just put up like a different image for your.
Yeah. I'll change my Google image for the first time in like 12 years.
Yeah,
I'm gonna install Face Rig and just.
There you go.
Be that.
That sounds good. All right, you can find us at sidequesting.com, at sidequesting on the Twitter, sidequesting TV on Twitch and on YouTube. You can find me us individually. I'm at Dali Domovsky. Sam, where can they find you when you're not working late?
Nowhere, I guess. I'm always working late.
Where can't they find you, right?
Welcome to fall sports season, baby.
I'm so mad at you, Sam.
Why?
Because if you and Tom had showed up today, I had a bit I was going to do, and I was going to call out the fact that you don't tweet.
Why do you have to call that out? I called out every single show. I'm about to call it out right now.
Because it was a bit, and I was going to go through everybody. It was going to be this thing about day jobs, and I was going to imply that you not tweeting made you money because why would anybody not tweet? It was a whole thing, but you guys were late, and Tom's not even here. You ruined it.
Why would anybody not tweet? Why would anybody tweet in the year 2018? That's my real question.
I want you to know that I have 40,718 tweets since I think 2008.
I have 4,482 since 2008. Since May of 2008.
I have 10 times the tweets you do.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that 100 times the tweets?
I have 140,000. 137,000.
Did I say you can find me at SamDI79 on Twitter.com with a photo that was probably taken also in 2008, if not 2009, maybe. I retweeted about how dumb my college was this week. But other than that, I have not tweeted since talking about Desert Rose on October 4th. My mind is still blown that Desert Rose is a very successful Sting song. Please call the local authorities and get that checked where you live. Where can we find you, Aaron?
You can find me at SideQuesting. You can find me on Twitter at ScrattyBones. You can find me on Twitch at ScrattyBones, where I'll be probably streaming Thronebreaker in the next little while. You can find me at my bong shop, where I'm doing crazy business now that pot's illegal in Canada.
Hey,
I had like the most insane day today.
It's Bong Watch over at Aaron's Twitter.
I live in a village of 500 people, and I did $700 in sales today.
That's like more than $1 per person.
Yep.
With that said, I will leave you with these great words. I dream of rain. I dream of gardens in the desert sand. I wake in pain. I dream of love as time runs through my hand. I dream of fire. These dreams are tied to a horse that will never tire. And in the flames, her shadows play in the shape of a man's desire, this desert rose. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in the next side quest. We love you. Stay real, Desert Rose.
I don't know what that was.
The lyrics to
Those are the
Desert
lyrics
Rose.
to Desert Rose.
No, is that a song?
It's a Sting
Oh, my
song.
Lord.
I don't listen to music.